Hello, my dears. So, this is Maria Roslyn from Phoenix YouTube channel. So, today we're going to discuss about the test design and various test design techniques and what are the nuances that are attached to this particular phase. So, we have already seen about the requirement analysis being the first phase, then we went on to the test planning, and then we have moved on to the test design phase. So I would like to mention here the test design phase is the very crucial phase in your testing, because this is where it gets decided like how much you're going to test, how effective you're going to test. So let's move on to this test design phase. So what is basically test design? It is a process that describes how testing should be done. So we have the requirements, we have planned how it has to be done, but we have to have a solid document so that based on that your testing can be taken care of. So that designing of your test cases is your test design phase. It includes the processes for identifying the test cases by enumerating the steps of the defined test conditions, the testing techniques defined in your test strategy. Like test strategy we have already discussed. So test strategy is how you're going to actually test. So based on your test strategy, you're gonna design your test cases. So the test cases is also defined as a test script. So what is a test script? So this is according to your IEEE definition. So we have already discussed like what is IEEE and what are the norms and conditions that this particular organization is giving you about your test documents. The document that describes the steps to be taken in running a set of tests and specifies the executable order of the test is called as your test procedure. So test procedure is nothing but you are defining the steps like where to start, how you're going to proceed and how you're going to end, and what is going to be your conclusion after concluding or after completing your test execution. So that whole set is called as your test script. So when are you going to create your test design? So when all your test conditions are defined and sufficient information is available, you create the test cases. But I would like to say here, no, this is like theoretically it is okay for you to say like, yeah, all the conditions are defined and then you go on with your test design. But basically what happens is that whether the informations are complete or not, you move on with your test design, because this test design keeps updating as and when your requirements keep updating and as and when your requirements have the detailed explanation. Because when you start off with your application, your requirements are not that clear, and even the clients, I have already mentioned in your requirement analysis, the clients even will not be like that clear of what they actually want. But as and when your project proceeds, then you have the detailed explanation and you keep updating your test case document. So we are going to actually discuss about the various test design techniques, and it is going to be little technical side. You're going to know about various terms and conditions. So I would say like these are the test documents that you're going to design, and the techniques that we are going to discuss in this particular video, all those techniques can be applicable to any of your test document. So as a tester, you have to be excellent in your designing phase. Like a developer is going to design based on the code, any of the technology he's going to code. But as a tester, you're going to design all these documents which is going to support your product, saying that yes, it is of this quality because we have done all this. So you can start off with your test policy, your test strategy, your test plan, requirement traceability matrix, which we called as RTM, your test scenarios, test cases. Then in that you have the test data, then you have your defect report and your test summary report. Do not worry about these no terms, because we are going to discuss, or I'm going to show you how you're going to create each document. I'm going to give you the examples and the templates. So all the design techniques or the review techniques that we're going to discuss going forward, I'm repeating it, all those things will be applicable to any of the test document that is mentioned here. So test design techniques, there are two major techniques, which is your static technique and your dynamic technique. To brief it, static technique is something where the review process or your execution process itself is taking place without actually executing. Meaning to say, all these things are going to take place only in the document. So, the reviewing of the documents will be your static technique, and your dynamic technique will be the actual execution of your testing. So, based on that, you're going to design your test cases. So, static technique is something is like very no, it is not action based. It is just your reviewing, and dynamic testing or dynamic test designing is action based. So we are going to discuss about your test design techniques. So I would want you to have this picture always in your mind when you're doing your test designing. So all those things which you have to keep in mind when you are doing your testing has been jotted down here in this diagram. So we are going to see this on and off during this discussion, because we have to know like which one we are concentrating. So first one, let's see the static technique. So in static technique we have the informal reviews, and then we have walkthroughs, technical reviews and inspection, which means to say there is something called as an informal review, which is kind of a peer review, and after that we have a less formal to more formal review, which are these three, which is the walkthroughs, your technical reviews and your inspections. Another one is your static analysis, which is a part of your static technique. Under the static analysis, you have your data flow and your control flow. So we want to see all that. So everything put up as a package is your static test design technique. Then you have the dynamic. As I said, dynamic is mostly with action based. So what you're going to actually test, what you're going to do it with your test cases. So your dynamic testing, you can divide into three major divisions. So first one, starting with your specification based, I would go from the right hand side, because that is your black box testing based. So what is black box testing? I would brief it. So specification based is something with your black box testing. Under that you have your equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision tables, state transition and your use case testing. Then we have the white box testing based or your structure based technique, which will have your statement coverage, decision coverage, conditions. You can also have the multiple conditions. And your third part is your experience based. I think this terminology is like kind of easy when compared to the other two. So you have this error guessing and your exploratory testing. So all these are your dynamic or your action based testing types. So we're going to discuss about every type in detail. So what is a static testing? So static testing is the testing of the software work products manually or with a set of tools, but they are not executed. So this one point is enough to explain about your static testing. It is not going to be executed, and it starts early in the life cycle, because we start our documentation phase very early. When we start our requirement analysis itself, we have this documentation. So as the documentation process starts, your static test technique also starts, and it doesn't need your computer, only the document. So the document is enough, and it is going to be reviewed, and the defects are going to be identified. So that is your static testing. So under the static testing, we saw first type to be the informal review. So I would like to know look upon the image once again. So the first type was your informal review. So informal reviews are applied many times during the early stages, and a two-person team can conduct an informal review. The goal is to keep the author, meaning to say the person who is writing the document. Ultimately, it will be the tester. So the person who is writing the document to improve the quality, and most important thing is nothing is documented. I mean to say, like you have the review, but the observations that is coming out of this informal review is not documented. Majorly, this informal review will be with your peer or your friend who is sitting next to you. So you can create a document, you can show to that person, you can send to that person, and to see like whether you have covered everything or not. So that will be your informal review. Next, you move on to the formal review. So as I said, the formal review, we had three types, and it will start from less formal to more formal. So a formal process has these 6 things to be taken care. So one is your planning, next kickoff, preparation, review meeting, rework and follow up. So this is well planned. So informal review is not planned. You just create a document, you send to your friend, your peer, and you get it reviewed. But formal review is well planned, and all these 6 phases takes place. You plan it, you kick off by sending the invite, then you prepare because you're going to present it, so you have to prepare about the document, then the actual meeting takes place, then the observations are documented, and based on those observations the rework is happening over the document, and then the person who did the formal review will do a follow up so that all the reviews have been incorporated. So this will be your formal review. So the types of formal review, we have three: walkthrough, technical review and inspection. So a walkthrough is not a formal process. I said a less formal process. It is led by the authors. So the author, or meaning to say the person who was in charge or who has designed the document, is going to present it so that everybody in that team are in the same phase or in the same page. And it is especially useful for the higher level documents like your requirement specification. So based on the requirement specification, we are going to create your reverse KD document. Even that can be going through this walkthrough phase. Next is your technical review. It is less formal. So it is led by the trained moderator. So all these terms is like, you keep it for a person who's doing it actually. So a moderator who's going to be a kind of an intermediate between the client and the project team. So it is often performed as a peer review without the management's participation, but the peer will be of a higher standard, or somebody who is better in experience, and the defects are found by the experts. As I said, no, it could be the architects, the designers or the key users. And the technical reviews vary from informal to very formal. So the same technical review, if it is done without prior information, it will be your informal review. But if it is informed and if the gathering is taking place formally, then it will be your technical review. Then we have the inspection, which is of more formal. So we have the trained moderators who is going to handle this meeting. A separate preparation is carried out for this meeting. The defects found are documented and logged as issue log, and a formal follow-up is also taking place. So this is very, very formal, where your management will also participate. So far we have discussed about our static review, what are the types, and we have gone in detail. Now next video we will have a detailed discussion about your dynamic testing. So thank you so much for watching this video. Keep supporting the Phoenix YouTube channel. Be a phoenix, fly high so that no one even imagines to touch you. Thank you so much. Have a great day.